Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to Nine Nar Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. Dirtbag Billionaire, How Yvon Chouinard Built Patagonia, Made a Fortune, and Gave It All Away by David Gels examines the unconventional life and business philosophy of the Patagonia founder. Known publicly as a climber, craftsman, and reluctant executive, Chouinard built a company that challenged standard corporate priorities by elevating product integrity, environmental responsibility, and long-term thinking. The book frames Patagonia not only as a brand, but as an experiment in aligning commerce with values, showing how early experiences in the outdoors influence decisions about materials, supply chains, and activism. Gels also explores the tensions created by rapid growth, global manufacturing, and the expectations placed on a purpose-driven company. At the center is the headline-making move to transfer ownership in a way designed to route future value toward environmental causes. The result is a narrative about entrepreneurship, ethics, and the trade-offs involved in trying to do business differently at scale. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, from climber culture to company culture, a central thread is how Chouinard's identity as a climber and outdoorsman shaped Patagonia's DNA long before it became a global retailer. The book emphasizes that the company's culture did not emerge from typical corporate playbooks, but from a community that valued simplicity, competence, and respect for wild places. This origin story matters because it explains why Patagonia often prioritized function, durability, and repair over trend-driven design, and why its leadership style could feel anti-establishment even as revenue grew. Gels presents Patagonia as a firm built around a set of lived experiences, time in the mountains, an awareness of human impact on nature, and a preference for practical solutions. That foundation influenced internal norms such as allowing employees to surf when conditions were good, embracing informality, and hiring people who cared deeply about the outdoors. The topic also highlights the tension between a free-spirited ethos and the operational discipline required to run manufacturing, retail, and global logistics. Patagonia's challenge, as depicted here, is to preserve an authentic culture while expanding into an institution with responsibilities to employees, customers, and partners. Secondly, product integrity as a strategy, not a slogan, the book underscores Patagonia's idea that the best environmental decision can be to make fewer, better things and keep them in use longer. Gels describes how this principle turns product design into an ethical and competitive advantage, pushing the company toward rugged construction, conservative styling, and a willingness to critique overconsumption even while selling apparel. The topic explores how a quality-first mindset affects decisions across the life cycle, sourcing materials, testing performance, offering repairs, and building programs that extend garment longevity. Patagonia's attention to durability is presented not merely as craftsmanship, but as a business strategy that builds trust and reduces waste, creating loyal customers who value reliability over novelty. At the same time, the narrative points to the complicated reality that any successful apparel company still depends on production and purchasing. That tension makes Patagonia's approach especially interesting because it treats contradictions as something to manage transparently rather than hide. In this framing, product integrity becomes the anchor that helps the brand navigate growth while staying aligned with its stated mission, even when trade-offs are unavoidable. Thirdly, supply chains, materials, and the cost of accountability. Gels devotes attention to the unglamorous but decisive arena of supply chains, where values meet physics, chemistry, and economics. Patagonia's environmental stance is shown to require hard choices about fabrics, dyes, and production partners, as well as ongoing efforts to reduce harm in processes that are inherently resource-intensive. The book highlights how sustainability claims depend on measurement, auditing, and continuous improvement rather than a one-time fix. This topic examines why shifting materials or upgrading standards can raise costs, create operational risk, and force compromises when ideal options are not yet available at scale. It also considers the reputational stakes. A company that markets itself as responsible is held to a higher bar, and scrutiny can reveal gaps between aspiration and reality. The reader sees how Patagonia's willingness to experiment and invest in better practices can influence suppliers and sometimes broader industry norms, while also exposing the firm to criticism when results fall short. The takeaway is that accountability is not a marketing layer added at the end, but a system that must be built into procurement, manufacturing, and long-term planning. Fourthly, activism and brand power in the public arena. Another major theme is Patagonia's approach to activism and how it uses corporate visibility to support environmental causes. Gels portrays the company as unusually comfortable taking positions that many brands avoid, treating advocacy as a core responsibility rather than a reputational gamble. This topic explores the mechanics behind that posture, donating resources, supporting grassroots groups, mobilizing customers, and leveraging communication channels to amplify issues affecting public lands and climate. It also considers the strategic dimension of purpose-driven messaging, where authenticity can deepen loyalty, but polarizing stances can alienate some buyers. The book suggests that Patagonia's activism is intertwined with its origin story, since the outdoors is not just a market but the context that made the company possible. Yet the narrative also raises questions about the limits of corporate activism and the risk of substituting consumption for civic engagement. Patagonia's example invites readers to think about what responsible influence looks like when a private company becomes a public voice. In this view, activism is not separate from business operations. It is a deliberate use of brand power to change norms, fund solutions, and keep environmental issues visible. Lastly, ownership, wealth, and the decision to give it away. The culminating topic is the widely reported decision to restructure ownership so that future value would support environmental efforts, reframing what success can look like for a founder and a profitable enterprise. Gels examines the motivations and constraints behind such a move, including the desire to protect mission, avoid conventional succession pitfalls, and ensure that profits serve a broader purpose. This section invites readers to reconsider familiar endgames like selling to a conglomerate, going public, or passing the company to heirs. Instead, Patagonia becomes a case study in using legal and governance tools to embed values beyond the founder's lifetime. The book also situates this choice within the realities of capitalism. Wealth creation can be enormous, and giving it away meaningfully requires structure, discipline, and a clear theory of change. The topic highlights that generosity at this scale is not just personal virtue, but a design problem involving control, accountability, and long-term impact. For entrepreneurs and executives, the story offers a rare lens on mission preservation and legacy, showing how ownership architecture can be as important as product strategy in shaping what a company ultimately stands for. In conclusion, this book is best for readers who care about business with a conscience, including entrepreneurs, sustainability leaders, investors, outdoor enthusiasts, and anyone curious about how a brand can align commerce with environmental responsibility. It can benefit a reader's life by offering a practical way to think about values under pressure, how personal identity influences leadership, how product decisions connect to ethics, and how trade-offs must be managed rather than wished away. The story also broadens the idea of success by showing that wealth and control can be redesigned toward a mission, which may inspire readers to reconsider their own choices around consumption, careers, and giving. Compared to many business biographies that celebrate growth at all costs, this one stands out for focusing on restraint, durability, activism, and governance. It is worth buying if you want a grounded narrative about the messy middle of responsible business, where ideals meet supply chains, marketing, and public scrutiny. Rather than offering generic inspiration, it centers on a distinctive case that has influenced how people discuss corporate purpose. Readers come away with a richer understanding of how a company can build trust, challenge industry norms, and attempt to turn profits into measurable environmental impact. If you would like to support David Gels, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.